Good evening. The air out there seems a little less heavy today after the city sat under a heavy blanket of smoke all week.
Still, an air quality warning remains in effect as we head into the weekend. CTV's Sean Leathong joins us live with the latest on the smoky situation in our city. And Sean, the skyline behind you there, still looking a bit fuzzy.
It's getting a little bit fuzzier by the minute, but many people in the city today woke up to some relief. They're hoping that it's not just a break. A moment of clarity in Toronto. Air quality improvement has residents coming outside once again.
I don't find it too bad right now.
Much better than yesterday and the day before.
While the GTA remains in an orange air quality warning, wildfire smoke has pushed its way around the Golden Horseshoe. Andrew Vasilic feels comfortable running.
Today seems better. I don't know. Visually it's better.
Environment Canada upgrading the air quality rating in Toronto to low risk, so Spencer and his dog Gigi are out for their first walk in 2 days.
She's been stuck inside. Can't even let her on the balcony. She's been deprived.
But with the air quality warning still in place, some are taking a cautious approach.
It's not that bad, but certainly I know it's not great, so I'm headed back home with 2 little babies.
The city choosing to pause outdoor events like Camp TO field trips, and all public outdoor pools remain closed. Patrons like Robin and 5-year-old Tondo, who came outside for the first time in days, only finding out on arrival.
Definitely disappointing, but yeah, we don't want staff to be risking their health and things like that, and so I understand why it's closed, but yeah, that water does look really nice.
There are also no lifeguards patrolling city beaches, with some wondering why.
I think it's not bad today. It was worse yesterday when we got here. Like, the sky was like yellow still.
Air quality is highly dynamic, and conditions can change quickly as wildfire smoke shifts with wind current changes.
So while the air quality has improved in Toronto, cities west of the GTA like London are still in the thick of it. And downtown Kitchener remains cloaked in haze. And as the wildfires continue to burn, the winds could change.
We're looking at the potential for a wind shift later on this afternoon into this evening that could bring the poor air quality conditions back into the city of Toronto.
So clarity might be momentary. So Environment Canada's rating for the previous couple of days was at a 10, which was a very high risk. Residents woke up this morning to a 2, which was a low risk, but in the last little while, that's gone up to a 6, which is a moderate risk. Reporting live, I'm Sean Leathong. Michelle and Nathan, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Sean. And staying with the forecast, we're going to show you a live shot of the city right now. There it is. There is some improvement today, but the conditions outside are not getting better for the evening. We're not out of the cloudy haze just yet as we look ahead to the weekend. Let's bring in Lindsay Morrison. So what can we expect, Lindsay?
Well, Nathan, as you can see, the skyline deteriorating once again. Conditions poor. As Sean mentioned, we are seeing the numbers go up on the Air Quality Health Index. We remain under an orange level air quality warning, so that's not a good thing. There it is, the 6 in Toronto again, and later on tonight, we can expect to be 10 plus, just like our neighbors in southwestern Ontario. So the smoke drifting back in, air quality becoming poor once again. Over the next couple of days, we could see improvement once more, thanks in part to the change in wind direction. We're now seeing a bit of a southerly and southwesterly flow as opposed to southeasterly now. 24 degrees feels like 29 out there, and this is going to help too. We've got some wet weather on the way, so we'll talk about this along with the risk of thunderstorms beginning overnight tonight, but they could be severe into the day tomorrow. Lots to discuss in your weekend weather forecast. It's all ahead. For now, Michelle, over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Also tonight, we head north to check in on residents forced out by the raging wildfires, while to the south, our American neighbors are feeling the effects. The U.S. president blaming Canada and threatening tariffs over the smoke. But first, after being dogged by an expense scandal this week, Provincial Cabinet Minister Stan Cho announced today he is stepping down.
And it was also revealed another cabinet minister is leaving the legislature. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris joins us now with more on the departures. Siobhan.
Well, Stan Cho was seen as one of the rising stars of the PC party. Now he is staying on as an MPP, but he's out of cabinet after a few days of public pressure.
Less than a week after a $16,000 hotel tab came to light, Stan Cho has resigned as Minister of Tourism, Culture and Gaming.
It's unacceptable. It's not tolerated. And Stan did the right thing.
The cost of hotel stays billed to taxpayers, even though Cho lives just 6 kilometers from Queen's Park. the allowance designed to help local MPPs in emergencies. In his resignation letter, Cho writes that he only claimed accommodation on nights the legislature sat late. And on late nights, he made a choice that was easier for him, not stopping to ask how it would look to someone working a double shift. Cho says he made a mistake and has repaid every cent. The opposition leader says it's not enough.
The people of Ontario demand answers, and I will say as well, he's not even the worst offender.
Public records show the parliamentary assistant to the Minister of Transportation racked up the biggest bill since 2023. Hardeep Grewal, who represents Brampton East, billed taxpayers for over $27,000. Nina Tangri from Mississauga Streetsville had almost 19 grand in hotel bills. And Charmaine Williams of Brampton Centre has been repaid close to $16,000.
They can all resign. It's not going to stop me from demanding answers from this premier, because you know what? The rot starts at the very top.
The premier wouldn't say if other ministers or parliamentary assistants should step down or if he'll overhaul all expenses.
We're changing that policy, and they know how upset I was, and we're going to move forward, and there has to be accountability, and we don't operate that way. That's not in our DNA.
The interim Liberal leader isn't sure that's the case.
It's a pattern of abuse of taxpayer dollars. But why are we surprised? The premier tried to buy himself a luxury private jet. There's a culture of entitlement in this government, and it starts with the premier.
Now, apart from expenses, the Minister of Sport also tendered his resignation today. That opens up a new seat in Hamilton, East Stony Creek, and that makes some decisions that the Premier has to make about his cabinet and when to call 3 by-elections. Reporting live from Queen's Park, I'm Siobhan Morris. Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Siobhan. A man is fighting for his life in hospital following a stabbing in Mississauga. CTV's Mike Walker has been following this investigation and joins us with more details. Mike.
Well, Nathan, as you can see, there is still a very active scene here on Indian Grove Road. That's near Mississauga Road and Lakeshore. According to Peel Regional Police, they were called to a home on this street around 3 o'clock this afternoon for a stabbing. Inside the home, they found a man suffering from life-threatening injuries. He was rushed to a local hospital. Police say they have arrested a youth, but at this point, there is no word on charges. It's also not clear the relationship between the suspect and the victim. All else that police have told us at this point is that there was an altercation inside the home. It's not exactly clear what were the circumstances that led to this stabbing incident. We've been speaking with a number of people who live on this quiet residential street. They are shocked to see this. They say this is a family neighborhood, and it seems like this are actually terrifying to see. Some neighbors have told us that the home has operated as an Airbnb. Those are details we're looking to confirm with police. I have been in touch with Peel Regional Police and are awaiting more updates at this point. Once again, a man is in a hospital and with life-threatening injuries after a stabbing incident here in Mississauga. A young person has been arrested. Reporting live, I'm Mike Walker. Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Mike.
A man in his 20s is dead following a crash involving an e-scooter in the city's West End this morning. CTV's John Musselman has more on what happened.
The damaged scooter was on the pavement near the entrance to the Dufferin Mall. A black Honda Civic with damage to the front passenger side was a few meters away. The two collided just after 8 a.m. The rider of the scooter, a 27-year-old man, was rushed to hospital with critical injuries. He did not survive.
Or they're on a assisted device or a bicycle or even a pedestrian. When you come in contact with a motor vehicle that's a few thousand pounds, that's concerning. Unfortunately, regardless of who's right or wrong or at fault, the pedestrian or the cyclist or e-scooter rider is going to take the biggest brunt of the injury.
Police say the motorized scooter was headed south on Dufferin. The motorist was turning left into the mall parking lot. We spoke to the driver at the scene. He claims he was turning on a yellow light and the scooter was unable to stop.
Sure, of course. We are very upset. This is very sad. This is between somebody's life and my life. This is, I would really just his life is gone. Or maybe when my life is gone as well, this is accident happened.
Police will be reviewing surveillance video to determine exactly what happened here. No charges have been laid. Police say they have seen an increase in scooter collisions as they become more popular. But under current City of Toronto bylaws, they're not allowed. E-scooters are not permitted to be operated on any public street in the City of Toronto, including bicycle lanes, cycle tracks, trails, paths, sidewalks, or parks. The cycling advocate says enforcement isn't possible with so many scooters now on the streets. He says legislation and safety standards are needed.
I think there needs to be a specific license code in their variety of vehicle. It's really easy to do. They have the ability to do it, and just make it more accessible, because these e-scooters, they want to be licensed. They want to have insurance, but the system's just not there to accommodate them.
There is a provincial pilot program on e-scooter use in cities across the province. The City of Toronto opted out, citing pedestrian safety concerns. Dufferin Street was closed for several hours during today's investigation. Jon Musselman, CTV News.
Police are searching for a car connected to a hit and run in Scarborough. It happened around 9:30 this morning on Highway 2A near Meadowvale Road. Police say a Mercedes and Lamborghini were racing in the area, with the Mercedes colliding into a third vehicle. The green Lamborghini did not remain at the scene. 2 people were taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries, while 2 others suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Police are asking anybody with information to come forward.
The city is preparing to begin a pilot program aimed at cracking down on dangerous drivers. The 9-month pilot will target motorists who illegally pass TTC streetcars when their doors are open. Starting next week, 4 streetcars equipped with technology from British Columbia-based Gatekeeper systems will be rolled out on 5 routes. The test is aimed at determining whether the system is reliable enough for automated enforcement. No tickets will be issued as part of this pilot.
Still ahead, accusations of endangering workers' lives spark a federal investigation after a CN rail crew surrounded by flames had to be evacuated north of Thunder Bay. But first, there are concerns being raised about the consequences of Ontario's changes to insurance rules designed to give drivers more choice.
As CTV's Jon Woodward reports, some people will find themselves with less coverage in a crash, and they had no say in it at all.
I was hit by a reckless driver in 2015, and I almost died twice.
A crash that broke Jess Speaker's spine. She couldn't work for months. The driver's insurance paid to replace her income, so she wasn't evicted for not paying her rent.
I was lucky to have access to income replacement benefits, and even that was barely enough to keep me housed.
She says that's just one example of payments worth thousands of dollars that have stopped being available for pedestrians and cyclists who are hit by cars but don't have their own vehicles or their own insurance, including income replacement of up to $1,600 a month, death benefits of up to $25,000, and non-earner benefits of up to $750 a month. That's in the wake of a shakeup to the insurance system in Ontario that allows drivers to choose their coverage.
If you drive your own car, you can opt in and get these better supports. But if you don't have your own vehicle, you're not privileged enough to drive a motor vehicle, then you don't have the option. You just get the bottom basement support.
For those hit by a bus, the TTC says it's dropped the optional coverage. And Brampton's transit system says, as a result of the province's regulatory changes, these optional benefits no longer apply to passengers, pedestrians, or cyclists involved in a collision with a city vehicle.
The changes are also affecting a provincial government fund that pays out claims to people injured in a hit and run where the vehicle and the insurance company can't be identified. That fund is also dropping optional coverage.
Everybody who has to access the Motor Vehicle Accident Claims Fund is left at this lower tier of insurance.
Something that may not be widely known. When asked about it, the Premier said this.
Honestly, the first time I've heard of this one.
He referred us to his staff, who said Friday pedestrians and cyclists will continue to have access to medical, rehabilitation, and attendant care benefits and will continue to receive the medical care that they need.
These are cuts designed as choice, but for those unfortunate pedestrians, they had no choice in the matter.
You are so screwed. You could lose your home, your health will not be the same, your life will be blown up.
Speaker calling for the government to rethink these changes and how they protect the most vulnerable on the road. Jon Woodward, CTV News.
Returning to our wildfire coverage, and those blazes across northern Ontario have now burned more land in the province than all of last year.
The wildfires are affecting several communities. CTV's Heather Wright visited a town some residents say has been forgotten.
So we got our building supplies.
With a massive forest fire burning about 5 kilometers away, Jon Dufferin has packed up whatever he can into his truck and trailer.
This is only the stuff that we can move. There's still 2 permanent residents that's going to burn.
The community of Uppsala is about 150 kilometers northwest of Thunder Bay. There's no evacuation order here, but people are being told to leave before things get worse.
There are a bunch of communities that have been overrun, and we could be one of them.
Uppsala Fire Chief Doug Keesbring says they are doing what they can to protect the town.
We'll put one sprinkler system on the roof.
Getting sprinklers in place to protect properties like the fire hall. But the town's resources are limited. And with so many fires burning, the province's resources are being stretched as well.
They have limited resources for a massive demand this year. This is probably the fire season of a lifetime.
And while rain this morning brought some reprieve, it was not enough.
We're just good for a little while. We bought a little bit of time, but we have in no way won the war.
Communities across the country are fighting battles against fierce and fast-moving wildfires. Roughly 900 fires are burning across the country, forcing thousands of people from their homes. Well, officials have promised more resources to battle the fires and help those affected by them. Many here in the north say they're not seeing enough action.
We might not be in southern Ontario, but we are in northwestern Ontario. You're still in Ontario. Like, do you not deserve some rights or something?
You feel forgotten?
I feel forgotten.
Today, Ontario's premier said more than 150 firefighters and over 80 water bombers and helicopters have been deployed to fight these fires. But with more than 190 burning across the province, including 20 new ones today alone, this is an ever-changing situation they are trying to respond to. Heather Wright, CTV News, Uppsala, Ontario.
Transport Canada is investigating after a wildfire closed in on a train more than 200 kilometers north of Thunder Bay this week.
This could potentially overtake us here. This is getting a little scary.
The crew had to be evacuated and was treated for smoke inhalation. Federal authorities are looking into whether CN broke the law by failing to comply with the Railway Safety Act. Officials are also trying to determine whether health and safety violations occurred. The Canadian National Railway says it's also investigating and has suspended operations in a portion of northwestern Ontario. The Teamsters Union called for CN Rail to stop running trains through active wildfire zones.
And heavy smoke from those Ontario wildfires is affecting more than 120 million Americans. A number of U.S. politicians are demanding action, and today, Donald Trump joined them.
The U.S. president says he will call Prime Minister Carney, and he's threatening to increase tariffs on Canada to pay for the cost of the pollution. CTV's Joy Malbin reports.
Millions of Americans woke up to this. Cities shrouded in smoke and haze from the wildfires. Chicago, Detroit, and Washington, 3 of the most polluted cities. You can barely see the capital. The air quality, a code purple. And that's not good.
It smells like a campfire. I've been in and out of a car just taking care of errands this morning, and my throat is already sore. And my eyes are itching.
I'm wearing the mask because the air quality is very low from the wildfires coming from Ontario and Canada.
It was only a matter of time before some Americans began to blame Canada for the unhealthy air. The U.S. president said he's holding Canada responsible, calling it willful negligence, and says he will add the cost of this pollution to the tariffs Canada is currently paying. Ohio's Republican Senator Bernie Moreno threatened to sanction Canada and the responsible Canadian government officials for this atrocity. The wildfire smoke so enraged 4 Michigan Republicans, they sent a scathing letter to the Prime Minister, claiming Canada hadn't managed its forests to prevent the fires. Ontario's premier is pushing back.
I truly believe the Americans are good neighbors. If there's some politicians out there chirping away, well, maybe what you should do rather than complain is send support.
And ask the experts. They say it's not who, but what is to blame.
Until we cut that fossil fuel use down to 0 and start actually stop the warming and start the cooling, we will face this. So it's ridiculous to blame Canada.
For the U.S. states affected some relief this weekend. Rain and thunderstorms are in the forecast, and that will help clear the air. Joy Malbin, CTV News, Washington. And this is satellite animation showing a large swath of the United States blanketed by the wildfire smoke from Canada. The toxic pollution hovered over the U.S. Midwest before heading eastward, creating what experts called some of the most polluted air on Earth. More than a dozen states issued air quality alerts today.
In the Middle East, an Israeli strike on a funeral in the central Gaza Strip killed at least 7 people and injured 22. Israel says it targeted a terrorist cell. Local officials in other parts of the territory report attacks left 5 more people dead. Elsewhere, the U.S. continued to attack Iran. Bridges and an airport were hit after Donald Trump threatened airstrikes on Iranian infrastructure. The U.S. president has also declined to rule out a ground assault on Iran's coast or islands. Tehran responded to the attack by targeting a power and water desalination plant in Kuwait. And then this afternoon, the Americans launched another round of attacks. They also redirected 4 commercial vehicles and boarded a 5th to ensure compliance with the new blockade on Iranian ports.
Russia launched more deadly attacks today as it intensifies pressure on Ukraine's key trade routes. At least 2 people were killed, 10 others injured in an attack on the southern city of Odessa. Russia launched 8 missiles and 130 long-range strike drones at Ukraine overnight. 2 Ukrainians were killed on board a foreign vessel that was struck during an attack on another Black Sea port, and 1 person died. 8 others were hurt in a strike on Kharkiv, the country's second-largest city.
The UK will have a new prime minister on Monday, its 7th in 10 years. Andy Burnham was elected leader of the governing Labour Party today. It's the final step before he becomes PM. The former mayor of Greater Manchester is warning party members that it's Labour's last chance to turn its fortunes around. The 56-year-old is promising to decentralize power away from Westminster to other regions. Burnham replaces Keir Starmer, who was forced out by a rebellion within his own party. Coming up, she's still the one drawing crowds at big venues, but Shania Twain is in town to do something a little different tonight, rocking an iconic and intimate music venue.
And I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, this hot weather has your car's air conditioner working overtime trying to keep you cool. Air conditioners in vehicles have changed over the years, and the experts say there are some things drivers can do to make their system more efficient. I'll have that story. That's just ahead.
So yes, we are back to a 6 on the Air Quality Health Index, and by tonight and tomorrow, we're going to be back to 10 here in the city of Toronto. So here's a reminder of things you should do on smoky days. Stay indoors, keep the windows closed. If you have to be out on a bad air quality day, you might consider something like an N95 mask to protect yourself. Weekend forecast brings the risk of thunderstorms into tomorrow, and they could be severe. Stay with us. We'll talk about this and the rest of your 7-day forecast coming up.
Hi, I'm Gian Lee, and today is the early bird prize deadline for the Princess Margaret Cottage Lottery. Joining me now is Ramona Oss from the Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation, and people need to get their tickets before midnight tonight.
That's right. They have to get their tickets by midnight tonight to be in to win the $1 million early bird prize. Plus, of course, we are giving away 3 cottages.
Yeah, we're standing in one right now, the Lakefront Cottage in Haliburton, a grand prize total of $2.2 million, which includes $50,000 cash.
I know, and it includes loads of water toys, comes fully furnished, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. Hard to call this a cottage, G.
It is beautiful. And then there are 2 other grand prizes as well.
That's right. One in Blue Mountain. We have a Blue Mountain cottage retreat, and that is the total prize package is valued at $2.3 million, includes $50,000 cash, plus our Muskoka prize, a cottage and cash valued at $2.5 million.
Oh my goodness, but you need to get your tickets before midnight. And also while you're at it, add on the 50-50.
That's right, we have incredible news. The jackpot's been growing all day long. Right now, it is sitting at $3.298 million. That means a whopping $1.649 million to the winner as as of now. But again, the pot keeps growing.
Yes, and every dollar makes a big difference. It all goes to a wonderful cause.
That's right. Funds from the Cottage Lottery really fuel cancer research at the Princess Margaret. Sadly, 2 in 3 Canadians will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime, and the work we're doing really supports better cancer outcomes for patients not only in Ontario, but cancer patients across Canada and globally.
And we've all been touched by cancer one way or another. Why not buy a ticket for a loved one? Why not buy a ticket and just give back to a wonderful cause?
That's right. It really is a win-win. A chance to support, as we've talked about, life-saving cancer research, and a chance to win incredible prizes. And you could be in your cottage this summer. We are calling the winner in August. You can be here for Labor Day weekend.
But get your tickets before midnight for your chance to win the early bird prize, $1 million cash. And that ticket is good for all the other prizes. PrincessMargaretLotto.com.
It's been an extremely warm summer, and the hot weather is expected to continue, which could have your car's air conditioner running nonstop.
Your air conditioner is a must-have in this weather, so you want to avoid mistakes that could lead to costly repairs. Here's Pat Foran and Consumer Alert. Pat.
Thanks, Nathan and Michelle. Experts say there are some things drivers do that can cause their car's air conditioning to be inefficient and waste fuel. You might use your remote starter to warm your car in the winter, but that doesn't work very well cooling your car in the summer. The first thing to know about quick cooling is that it's not the time to use your remote start because you won't do much to cool down your car and you'll be wasting fuel.
Your car's air conditioning works much better when you're actually driving because the faster the engine turns, the faster the AC compressor runs, which lets the system cool more effectively.
Your best option, start driving. Turn on the air conditioner and open all the windows for 10 to 20 seconds. Next, crank the fan. Once cold air starts flowing through the vents, roll up the front windows, but keep the rear ones cracked open for another 10 to 20 seconds to pull the cold air to the back of the car.
Adjust the AC temperature to its lowest setting and make adjustments to the fan speed and direction to keep you comfortable. This will actually make the AC efficient, will dry out the air more, and can save some fuel.
And if you have passengers in the back seat, make sure you turn off recirculation mode so the air in the back doesn't get stale and hot. Another tip, if you've got a newer car with an auto start-stop system, you may want to turn it off if you can. This feature saves fuel by shutting off the car's engine when you're stopped, but it may also shut off the car's AC compressor, something you'll want to keep running while you're stuck in stop-and-go traffic. And when you get a chance, check your cabin air filter to make sure it's clean. A dirty filter prevents optimal airflow, and on a hot day, you don't want anything between you and that sweet cold air. And using a windshield shade can keep your car cooler and also prevent your dashboard and seats from cracking and fading over time. It can also protect sensitive electronics in your car from heat damage. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
Some of us are old enough to remember when cars didn't have air conditioning. I have such vivid memories as a kid of just cooking in the back seat of my dad's little car. And you just dealt with it.
Yeah, back in the days, cars didn't even have seatbelts, some of them. But I do remember no air conditioning, so you wind down the windows, and that's just like hot air coming in. It made no difference, Lindsay.
I do remember the window crank.
Oh, the crank.
I do remember that. But yeah, whether you're driving out tonight, I mean, look how dark it's looking all of a sudden. Whether you're going for a drive or just staying in, it's another night where we maybe want to have that window rolled up and closed because the air quality is deteriorating. Once again, we're at a 6 on the AQHI, and we should be at about a 10 again by later tonight and into tomorrow. We had some improvement today as far as the smoke was concerned in Toronto, as we showed you earlier, but this is what it's been looking like for the last 2 days across southwest Ontario. Cities like London and Windsor hit particularly hard by the smoke. Of course, we've been talking about just how poor the air quality has been just across the border in Detroit and some other states as well. This drifting smoke story is going to be with us for the next little while. So while we could get some improvement this weekend, don't get too used to that because it looks like the smoke is going to return and then improve again next week. So this is an ebb and flow type of story. And there's so many factors at play. One, if there are more wildfires burning or whether or not we can get a handle on them and start putting some of them out. 2, the wind direction. The winds are changing as we speak, so southwesterly breeze going to usher in that smoke once again. No surprise that we remain under an air quality warning orange level here in the GTA. We've seen this warning come to an end for cities like Kingston, Belleville, and areas like Apsley, Ontario, but you can see just how widespread the air quality warnings are back into northern Ontario, the prairies, and the Northwest Territories. The other factor at play when it comes to the smoke out there is whether or not we get precipitation. We did have some good rain in parts of northwestern Ontario today. Watching for a few thunderstorms. We don't necessarily want that because further lightning strikes could set off more wildfires. But here in southern Ontario, we're going to keep an eye on possible thunderstorms. The chance begins overnight tonight, but what I'm perhaps more concerned about is this cold front into tomorrow. Now, it's interesting because the weather is impacting the smoke, but the smoke could also impact the weather. So with all that widespread smoke expected, that could lessen the amount of rain that ends up falling across parts of Ontario tonight and tomorrow. These numbers have been fluctuating greatly because the models are having trouble getting a handle on it with the smoke out there. But this is a snapshot of tomorrow morning, so expect it to be quite rainy to the east of Georgian Bay and through portions of Cottage Country and the Bruce Peninsula. There's the line of storms that looks to roll through for the afternoon. And these could be severe storms, so perhaps heavy downpours, thunder, lightning, maybe some hail, and perhaps even a little bit of rotation in places. Then we're going to clear out, dry out for Sunday. I say clear out, what I meant was dry out, but hopefully we will also clear some of that wildfire smoke. We're going to have some pretty strong northwesterly winds through the day tomorrow too, so that might help push the smoke out yet again. It's 24 degrees right now. It feels like 29. Going to be another warm night tonight, 22 for the low. And again, we have widespread smoke out there. That risk of thunderstorms tomorrow with an afternoon high of 26 degrees, feeling more like 32. I will say overall it is looking like a cooler temperature trend next week. Wednesday, we might only make it to a high of 22. And that's your look at the weather.
Carry the fire for a world free from the fear of cancer. The Princess Margaret Cottage Lottery early bird deadline is midnight tonight. Here's your chance to be entered into the draw to win the early bird prize of $1 million cash. Plus, there are over 8,000 prizes to be awarded, valued at more than $8.6 million, including the 3 grand prize cottages built by Linwood Custom Homes and Terra Nova Homes. Only hours remain. Buy your early bird tickets before midnight tonight. And remember, every ticket gives you the chance to win life-changing prizes and helps fund life-saving cancer research at the Princess Margaret. Buy now at princessmargaretlotto.com.
Also tonight, talks with Mexico heat up as both countries brace for tense trade negotiations with the U.S. amid questions about the Gordie Howe Bridge and concessions made to the U.S.
The Ontario Court of Appeal has found Freedom Convoy organizer Pat King guilty of intimidation and has ordered a new sentencing hearing. King was charged with a number of offenses for his role in the 2022 demonstration that gridlocked much of downtown Ottawa for more than 3 weeks. But he was acquitted of intimidation. The Crown appealed, and today the appellate court ruled the trial judge erred by finding that King's participation in the convoy was part of a lawful protest. A sentencing has now been ordered for a later date.
Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister met with her Mexican counterpart in Ottawa today.
The meeting focused on advancing shared priorities, but trade was the hottest topic given the looming CUSMA talks. CTV's Rachel Aiello reports.
A show of alignment today between Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister and Mexico's Foreign Secretary.
Mexico is a critical partner for Canada.
Though despite her Mexican counterpart asserting the two countries don't have any areas of friction,
we only have areas of opportunities.
Both are bracing for tense trade talks with the Americans, where they are trying to iron out different issues, an effort the Mexicans appear further ahead on.
Very difficult to compare the progress on those substantive points as a whole.
The U.S. has triggered annual reviews of the Trilateral Trade Pact, rather than the 16-year CUSMA renewal both Canada and Mexico wanted. Today, the Mexican foreign minister wouldn't say whether he'd be willing to cut a new deal with Donald Trump alone.
Whenever it's necessary, we also consult with each other. But of course, there are many issues with which we need to communicate directly with the United States.
One such issue for Canada, the Gordie Howe Bridge. Amid continued confusion over what was agreed to see it open, today the Conservatives called out the Prime Minister for what Pierre Poilievre characterized as contradictory statements, calling on Mark Carney to release the deal so Canadians can see for themselves what you negotiated away.
I think in due time it will come out, but right now it's likely just a negotiation tactic.
Minister Anand said today that as talks heat up, Canada will keep working on all fronts to strengthen both bilateral ties as well as the North American relationship as a whole. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
After the break, preparing to perform on the world's biggest stage. We look ahead to Sunday's World Cup showdown between Spain and Argentina. In business today, Apple ousted NVIDIA as the world's most valuable company. BNN Bloomberg's Morella Fernandez has more.
But not for long. By the end of the trading day, it was NVIDIA back at the top. Here's what happened. NVIDIA shares dropped this morning, sinking its market cap to $4.8 trillion U.S. Chip makers are being dragged down by investor concerns. The drop made room for Apple to grab the top spot with a value of $4.9 trillion. But it switched back by the end of the day, letting NVIDIA keep the title it has had since May of 2025. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 71.38 U.S. West Texas Intermediate up over $4 to 72.31 U.S. Western Canadian Select is down to 65.02. And the TSX lost 76 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Air quality issues caused by the wildfires in northern Ontario mean the roof will be closed tonight when the Blue Jays return to action.
And now Clement lifts one, left field. Sheets going back, turns at the fence. We are tied.
The Jays are coming out of the break with a 45-51 record. They kick off a three-game set with the White Sox. Spencer Miles gets the start for Toronto, and George Springer returns to the outfield for the first time this season.
The Toronto Tempo also playing tonight after losing 5 of their last 6 games.
Mabry getting her first bucket.
Toronto will be looking for all-star Marina Mabry to lead the way. The Tempo coming off a 17-point loss to Washington on Tuesday. They host Atlanta tonight. The Dreams sit atop the Eastern Conference 4 games ahead of Toronto.
The Quebec government has approved plans to renovate the interior of Montreal's Olympic Stadium, and the announcement was made on the 50th anniversary of the game's opening ceremony. The stadium was originally built for the 1976 Summer Games and the Montreal Expos. It has also been known as the Big O, OWE, for its ballooning construction costs, which contributed to a debt that took 30 years to pay off. The stadium was built just in time to host the games, but the roof wasn't completed until 1987. Today, an interior renovation was announced. Construction to replace the roof is already underway.
Argentina and Spain will be squaring off in Sunday's World Cup final, and fans are getting ready.
Messi. Oh, and England are in trouble. Maybe to Lautaro Martinez. They're going out to the semi-final stage.
Argentina with a chance to become the first nation to win back-to-back World Cups since Brazil did it in 1962. Meantime, Spain is trying to capture its first title since 2010. Those two teams will square off at 3 in the afternoon on Sunday, while England and France will play in the third-place match tomorrow at 5. Watch parties will be taking place across the city, including at FIFA Fan Fest.
And watch parties this weekend will mark the final whistle for World Cup festivities in Toronto.
CP24's Nick Dixon takes a look back at the global party in our city thanks to the tournament.
6 games, 1 city, a world united. A city came alive and watch parties erupted. One thing brought us together, the beautiful game. And that feeling,
the same flag was in Qatar.
it'll last long after the final whistle. Toronto Stadium may have been the smallest venue of the FIFA World Cup, but the city showed just how loud, proud, and united it could be. More than 42,000 fans packed the stands, creating an atmosphere that echoed far beyond the pitch. And before the first whistle, the celebration was underway. The streets came alive. Supporters marched shoulder to shoulder toward the stadium. One stadium, 6 unforgettable matches. Beyond the stadium, FIFA Fan Fest became the heartbeat of the city. Thousands filled the waterfront. The world in a city came to life through music, art, food, and culture.
Uno, dos, tres.
Vamos, Panama!
Every chant.
Let's go, Canada!
Every cheer.
It's about unity.
It's about unity.
Every connection. Nathan Phillips Square transformed into a World Cup playground, bringing the game into the core of Toronto. Culture, community, connection. On the waterfront, Canada Soccer House came alive. Big screens, live entertainment, and unforgettable energy. Every match felt bigger because everyone was part of it. One city, one team, one united atmosphere. Across the GTA, every neighborhood became a homegrown watch party. Every street echoed with cheers. Every celebration brought the city closer together. Parking lots became watch parties. Patios and restaurants overflowed with fans. You didn't need a stadium to feel part of the game. No matter where you were, the game brought everyone together right here at home.
I'll dance. Ready?
All right, there we go.
From kickoff to the final whistle, the beautiful game united an entire city.
Coming up, Shania Twain's full circle moment. The Canadian country icon's in town for an intimate one-night-only show at a spot she'd always hoped to play.
Tonight, the wildfire threat fueling fear among Canadians.
I'm depressed. I'm sad. Ticked off a little bit.
Plus, what Donald Trump said about smoke from Canada. Later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
Get Toronto's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Throughout her career, Shania Twain has performed in front of tens of thousands of fans, and tonight she's set to take the stage for an intimate show at the Horseshoe Tavern.
It will be the first time the country star has played at the iconic Toronto venue. And CP24's CJ Nelson is live outside on Queen Street West talking to fans. This is special, CJ.
Oh, absolutely. Fans are used to seeing Shania Twain at sellout stadiums, but tonight she is performing just behind me here at the Horseshoe Tavern, and about 400 lucky fans were able to get their hands on tickets, and they were just $40, so you can imagine they sold out in a second. And the reason why she is performing here is because it's a full circle moment for her. She is releasing her new album, Little Miss Twain, and it's all about how she got started playing in little dive bars all across Ontario. This bar, in fact, Horseshoe Tavern, was one of the places she dreamed of playing before all the big record deals, before all the Grammys, so she is running it back today. But let's talk to some fans who have been waiting in line. This is Gemma here. She is one of the lucky fans that got tickets. So did you win your tickets or did you buy your tickets? How were you able to get your hands on it?
I was fortunate enough to win the RBC Instagram contest, so I tried to get tickets, but I didn't have any luck on Ticketmaster, and I had to post on Instagram, prove I was a big fan, and then I was chosen.
Well, we can tell by your outfit. You are a huge Shania fan. What are you expecting tonight? Because you told me you saw her before at big stadiums, but there's only going to be a few hundred of you here.
Yeah, I've seen Shania a number of times, never very close, because huge stadiums, expensive tickets. This is insane. I've been a fan for a very long time. It's going to be like so special to see her like literally within feet of myself. Yeah.
And you are pretty close in line here to the front, so you might be touching distance to Shania. What would you say to her if you had a chance to speak to her?
Oh my God, I can only hope. I would probably just say thank you for like all of the joy she has brought to my life and for making music that's so fun.
What a memorable night. Well, thank you so much, Gemma. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. But this is going to be a night that fans will remember, pretty much like a one-on-one with Shania Twain. Usually you have to see her at sold-out stadiums, but tonight she is here at the Horseshoe Tavern. Only 400 lucky fans will able to be inside, but this is truly once in a lifetime for these fans, getting a chance to see her here in Toronto tonight in such an intimate setting. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, CJ. That looks like, I'm sure, the place to be tonight, especially if you're a Shania fan.
Oh, my God. You'll be so close you could touch her. And that just makes Shania Twain that much more fabulous that she's having an event like this.
Totally. I'm glad the concert is indoors. Typically, I'd be talking about a patio forecast on Friday night, but we once again have some smoke moving back in. So, unfortunately, our air quality is deteriorating. Also, here's one more look at that air quality warning that's in place, an orange level for Toronto. If you're off to the Cottage or a campground this weekend, you can plan on it being a bit unsettled tomorrow too. But Sunday, fingers are crossed for sunshine and improved air, because I know so many fans are hoping to make it out to FIFA Fan Fest for the World Cup final. Sunday's also looking like a more comfortable day temperature-wise. And then overall, we experience highs in the mid, even low 20s at times through next week. Also keeping an eye on Tuesday for another round of showers, which could help with the air quality, improving it once again. Michelle and Nathan.
Like the sounds of that. Thank you, Lindsay. That's it for us, but you can catch Heather Butts tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by Pauline Chan with your next local newscast at 11:30.
Meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and all of us here at CTV News, thanks for watching and have a great weekend.